Paper Mario has never been the same since the Nintendo 3DS, and you could probably even take it back further to the Wii, where Super Paper Mario took the traditional RPG elements of Paper Mario and turned them into a 2D adventure game. But with that said, Sticker Star is where the series started to feel its decline. And then we saw it once again kind of get just as bad with Color Splash, and then of course on the Nintendo Switch, Origami King, a game that I still found lots of enjoyment out of, still made a lot of people upset because it didn't have its original identity still with the classic RPG style that the game was known for from the 64 and Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door on the GameCube. But what if I told you it is all about to change? Nintendo is about to do something that I have been hoping for a very long time to save this series before it goes completely down under. There are apparently tons of rumors coming out stating that Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door is getting remastered on the Nintendo Switch. And apparently there's like 3 or 4 sources that have confirmed this. And this all comes from a random anonymous source on Family Boards. I have the link in the description if you want to check it out. Of course, take all of this with a grain of salt. There's no way to tell 100% until Nintendo officially announces things. But this is what the member had to say. As some of you know, I do hobby journalism behind the scenes and research various things for fun. Some accurate Nintendo rumors that were reported by YouTubers and other sites in the past partially were based on my research. As I said, I don't like attention and thus always asked everyone to keep me private, which I intend to continue remain private in those stories. They then go on to say, however, I do have something super exciting that I'm aware of. Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door remaster is finally happening and coming out soon. I have been in touch with 3 sources with this. One of them redirected me to the third source, who I hadn't interacted before, so it was just me cold messaging them on LinkedIn. Because this third source wouldn't acknowledge the release date I had heard from the previous 2 sources, I'll just leave it as coming soon. I informed both Nintendo Prime and Nate Drake about this privately. There's one more person I have informed, but they wish to remain anonymous. I personally had always wished for the Thousand Year Door remaster. I never played it on the GameCube, so I'm over the moon excited to finally play it on Switch soon. So wow, that's a lot to take in, and I actually made a video on this before shortly after Paper Mario the Origami King stating that Nintendo really needs to figure out how to get back to the classic Paper Mario. Fans have been begging for this, and I suggested the only way that this would ever probably work is if Nintendo just went back and looked at what made Paper Mario so good in the first place, by either remaking 64 or the Thousand Year Door. And for a while, I think there were actually rumors that stated that 64 was actually getting remade, and one of those people that leaked that was Marco Mero, and they actually commented on this post stating this. Just a straight yeah with a question mark. I don't know if this is kind of hinting at yeah, this is happening, or yeah, I haven't heard anything about this, so I don't know. Marco Mero, once again, like I said, had talked about a Paper Mario 64 being remade and remastered for the Switch, but nothing about Thousand Year Door that I know of. This is very interesting for sure. Now, of course, these are just rumors right now, but remember, there were these big rumors that Nintendo was taking some of the library or most of the library from the Nintendo GameCube and bringing it back into modern consoles, and it seems like they kind of have been starting to do that. I mean, they just did it with Metroid Prime, they obviously did it with Super Mario Sunshine, and I think even more titles could start appearing. We could maybe even see some of the Star Fox games. There's big rumors that's been going on for the last 2 years about F-Zero GX coming to the Switch, so this definitely stays in line with those GameCube rumors, so much so that we very well could receive a Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door remake based on the fact that GameCube games are coming back. And I'm telling you right now, I think I could die happy as a Nintendo fan once this happens. Already getting Super Mario Sunshine and then Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door remastered for the Switch. I mean, seriously, there's nothing else that I could possibly want. Now, of course, this is not just me, because almost every single Paper Mario fan out there knows just how massive the Thousand Year Door was and just how good of a game it was, and to see it again in today's standards would just be phenomenal. But this means more than just this this game coming back. I think it would mean so much for the Paper Mario community and just for the future of Paper Mario as well, because if Nintendo finally decides to go back into this game, I don't think there's ever any going back into the weird gimmick games like Sticker Star, Color Splash, and even Origami King. I mean, they just set a precedent for themselves to move forward with games very similar to the 1000-Year Door if they do decide to bring this back. Now, once again, I don't know if it's just Miyamoto's fault or the series producer Kensuke, but they will not allow any original characters of recent Paper Mario games. Like, they want to keep it very basic characters and stuff. That's why we see the Koopalings and just Goombas and Koopa Troopas, and that's why Origami King had bosses that weren't necessarily new characters. They were just things like scissors and staplers and stuff like that. It's just because for some reason the development team is held, they can't make original characters, which is extremely weird, which means no custom Toads or Bob-ombs or anything like that that we've seen in the past games. But maybe this is finally all changing. Maybe finally they're gonna get the green light to make original characters again. But before we go out and try to make something new for Paper Mario, let's go back and look at what made the 1000-Year Door, maybe even 64, such amazing games. And right now, it's very hard to get your hands on Paper Mario the 1000-Year Door. It's super high priced, and you just gotta find a copy somewhere, or you gotta use some type of ROM or emulator. There's no cheap and easy way to get most GameCube games. That's why probably Nintendo is bringing lots of them back. And with Origami King just releasing in 2020, it's only going to be around 3 years, so this would be perfect by just having a old game come to the Nintendo Switch, and not just an old game, a series classic. Now, apparently this game is coming soon. Remember though, this is just rumors, but if it's coming soon, that would kind of make sense, because we really don't know anything else with this year. Tears of the Kingdom comes out in just about 29 days, and that leaves nothing left but Pikmin 4 for the month of July. And that's it. That's all we know. So it would make sense for this to maybe be a summer game. Maybe somehow they can get it out in June. Maybe it's one of those things they just shadow drop and announce on Twitter. I mean, they did it with Origami King. I know it was during the quarantine, but yeah, they still just randomly said, here is a brand new Paper Mario game dropping in like a month, so they can definitely do it with a remaster or a remake, whatever this is going to be, of Paper Mario the 1000-Year Door. But this would be huge for the community. This would change everything and finally, maybe finally, put Nintendo back on the right path and Paper Mario back where they needs to be. But let me know in the comments down below if you believe this rumor. How excited would you be to see Paper Mario the 1000-Year Door come back on the Nintendo Switch in 2023? I mean, that just sounds like a pipe dream, like something of a fantasy land. But definitely let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe to stay up to date on everything Paper Mario and Mario in general, and I will see you all on the next one. See you guys.